Now, family, friends and members of the PAC have gathered at the family home of the late Imam Achmad Cassiem, who passed away in the early hours of this morning at his home in Lansdowne, Cape Town. The former Robben Islander and anti-Apartheid activist passed away after a battle with cancer. Cassiem joined the struggle at the age of 15 and was imprisoned on Robben Island 2 years later at the age of 17. He faced several further arrests and bannings under the apartheid regime. He was also founder of Qibla, a movement opposed to apartheid and to advance Islam in South Africa. SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah went to the family home.
Struggle stalwarts and activists have gathered here at the family home of the late Imam Achmad Cassiem to pay tribute and respect to him. The late Imam passed away in the early hours of this morning following a battle with cancer. A short while ago we spoke to his only daughter, Wahida, who described her father as a principled man. Now PAC and APLA veteran, Mr. Ndubeko Magwenchu, who joins me now. Sir, a very warm good day to you. You have come out here as a veteran, but also as someone who has known Imam Cassiem for many years, since the 80s. He leaves behind a legacy. You've told me that just now. How do you remember the late Imam?
I must start off by saying he would say, one oppressor, one bullet. You know, at the time when APLA was trying to minimize the wasting lots of bullets, when its slogan was one settler, one bullet, then the Imam, you know, because he had this foresight that the enemy will not always be white. The enemy is any oppressor. Then he had the slogan that said, one oppressor, one bullet. Now, if at that time, you must understand that he had these many heads, because he was working in the underground structures of the PAC. He was also because he's the leader of Qibla. Qibla was the part of the Azanian People's Liberation Army at that time. And because PAC had these very good working relations with Qibla, and Imam was both the member of that organization and also the member of the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania. Now, what we can, the legacy that he leaves behind is the fact that today the struggle is still on, because today's oppressor is no longer the white man, but the oppressor is a combination of the white and the black face. But unfortunately, what is happening is that when he leaves us at a crucial time where we have no clarity of thought. And Imam was one person that has clarity of thought. He knows exactly what had to be done. And I think to say that we'll miss him is an understatement. But the fact of the matter is that for us now, because the whole revolution that he fought for, it seems to be, seems to have been reversed. It would have been better if he lived longer than the time that now has been shortened, is no longer here. But we hope that his spirit, as it lives on, will fan the fires of the revolution, so that the days when the man's color does not matter in terms of what the PAC stands for, because the PAC stands for an Africanist socialist democracy. By that, it really means, because in 1968, Comrade Makoti said that this is what we want to achieve, an Africanist socialist democracy. What that means is that we need to have the interests of the indigenous people superseding those of the alien, which is the foreigners.
And you say that the Imam embodied those values?
He was an embodiment of that. He was an embodiment of, in fact, if I must say this, the Imam was his presence in the PAC and Qibla was beyond those organizations, because, I mean, oppression, we must say that he did not only fight for Qibla and PAC, he fight for humanity, because if the Imam would even not only sympathize or empathize with what is happening in Palestine, but he would have been there had he had an opportunity to be there, because he knows that the struggle in the world, not only in Africa, is part of the revolution. So that's what he stands for.
So thank you so much for speaking to me, of course, there on behalf of the PAC and APLA veterans, of course, Mr. Ntubeko Magwenchu, just sharing some of his experiences of Imam Achmad Cassiem, and also talking to us about the legacy that he leaves behind in his fight against apartheid, and also calling him someone of humanity. And early on, we spoke to one of his former students saying that he studied humanology under the late Imam, and of course today family, friends, colleagues, mourners are gathering here at the family home in preparation for the funeral service due to take place later this afternoon.